Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today, the Insights Tech Showcase. Happy Friday. Before I hand it over, just a reminder, you can put any of your questions in that Q&A box, and we'll get to as many of those as we can at the end of the session. In that chat box, feel free to say hi, let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know if you have any exciting weekend plans we should know about. But for now, I'll just go ahead and hand it over to Anish.
About us as an AI native insights platform that combines the power of quant, video, and AI to help the world's best brands get a quicker and more holistic understanding of their target audiences. We do this through our ability so that you no longer
Hey,
have to
Anish,
make
I'm
that
going to
trade.
pause us just for a second. I'm sorry, there seems to be maybe an issue with your audio. Do you want to refresh and kind of log back in? Sorry to interrupt you here, just getting
Yeah,
some
no
comments
worries.
about the audio being an issue.
Cool. Yeah, let me refresh.
Yeah, just give us a minute.
Okay, can you hear us now?
Seems like that's working.
Perfect.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
Okay, cool. Perfect. All right. Yeah, so really looking at that relationship between the researcher, going deep as well as being able to do that quickly with your consumers. So, what does research look like today, and how is this being solved with AI? So, I'm sure a lot of you guys might be able to relate to this person on the screen here, but research today can be really tedious and really time consuming. When it comes to questionnaire design, it can take days, if not weeks, to come up with that perfect questionnaire that incorporates feedback from all of your different stakeholders. When it comes to analysis, especially qualitative analysis, you can spend weeks just actually conducting this research in the first place, hopping on focus groups, hopping on IDIs. With the data, then you have to pour through paragraphs of transcript data here to try to identify what are those key words and how do they relate to those key themes that you're looking for, those key insights. And then when it comes to actually sharing out those insights, you have to piece together data from all of those different sources, data from your qualitative research, data from your quantitative research, and kind of piecemeal it together into a compelling and consistent narrative. All in all, that research process can take weeks to conduct, 4+ weeks at a minimum. And in 2024, in a world where customer behavior is literally changing as fast as the internet, that just doesn't cut it. So at NIT, the question we keep asking ourselves is, what can research look like with AI? And I can't promise it's as awesome as this, flying cars and cool skyscrapers, but it is really cool what AI enables us to do with the consumer research process and how that can help not only with time savings, but ultimately more research and more data-backed decisions. So at NIT, we have really leveraged AI across three major steps in the consumer research process: questionnaire design, analysis, and then reporting. All of this is powered by our AI platform, our AI research assistant, which helps across each one of these key steps, helping you come up with that questionnaire, helping you analyze both quantitative and qualitative data, and then helping you actually share out those insights across your organization. So with that, today what we'll focus on is I'd love to walk you all through a study that we ran around shopping for household essentials, and how our partner was really able to use NIT to. All right. I think I got kicked out there for a second, but hopefully you guys can all hear me now. Let me go ahead and share my screen and dive right in. Cool. So what we'll walk through now is how, again, NIT was used to kind of get these insights and how that AI really helped across that entire research process to run that quant-qual hybrid research at scale. So we'll start off with the study design portion first. At this stage, what the AI was really able to help do is by simply dropping in the research objectives for the study, the AI, and then also letting the AI know who you want to talk to. So adding any custom screeners, kind of that mix of quant and qual you're looking for, so you can have the entire data set participating qual or sample participating qual, half the sample participating qual. What the AI does is it takes all of this information and within a couple minutes generates a questionnaire for you. And the great thing about this questionnaire is it is incredibly robust. It's a mixture of both quantitative and qualitative question types. We have over 100 plus different question types across both quant and qual. On the qual side, it's everything from open-ended text responses to video responses. And this allows you to get that kind of hybrid quant-qual mix, which we'll dive into and why that becomes so important when you start analyzing the data here in just a couple minutes. So with that, we are able to ship that questionnaire off and start fielding it with your ideal audience, your target audience there. And in this case, for this study, it took about 36 hours to field a sample of about 200 people across both this quant and qual. And what we got back were a ton of quant data, which again, we'll dive into how our AI helps analyze that. But we'll actually start with the qual data. We got over 400 video responses to these open-ended questions. That's over 12 plus hours of video data across this entire data set. So here's where our AI becomes very valuable and being able to analyze that qual and doing it at scale, while also doing it in conjunction with some of the quantitative insights there. So starting from the top, what our AI was able to do was actually start off with an executive summary of sorts of what this data is saying. So it reads through all the transcripts across all those video responses and generates this summary. And there's a couple things to call out here. The first is, if you can see in the highlighted section here, the AI actually quantifies those qualitative themes. So it doesn't just tell you that, people prioritize value for household essentials. It actually tells you how many people mention that theme. In this case, about 41%. The other thing it does is it actually cites all of its sources. So you can see here that 32 people in that green box, 32 people were cited mentioning this theme. And if you click into any of those green boxes, you'll actually see every single video that was cited, and where in the video those citations happened, so that you always have transparency and never run into kind of this black box with AI where you don't know where that data is coming from. Now, if you want to dig a little bit deeper from there, our AI goes a step further and actually identifies all those key themes. So if you look at that graph under, or that graphic under the Explore headline, those are all the key themes that our AI identified. Now, if you click on that first theme, purchase drivers, you will then see a drill down of all the sub themes within that theme. And then finally, you can edit or customize any of these themes. You can group them together, combine them, you can edit them, you can remove them, and the AI continues learning from all those edits and all that feedback you're sharing with it. And we really designed the NIT platform here with that philosophy in mind that AI will never be able to replace all of the work that a researcher does. And so we want to create a platform where you can customize the output of the AI to make it your own and make it work for you and your business. And that's why we always keep that kind of trust and transparency at the center. So you always know where the data is coming from. So an example of that is if you click into any of these sub-themes, you can actually see where in the video it's pulling that theme from, down to the specific keywords or sentence that it's citing. And this way you always have that transparency, that peek behind the curtain of how the AI is working. Now, one of the best parts about doing both a hybrid methodology here of both quant and qual is that you can actually layer the quant on top of the qual, or the qual on top of the the qual on top of the quant. What you're seeing here is a great example of how you can layer that quantitative data on top of these qualitative themes. So by clicking into the quantitative filters there, you can actually layer on top the quantitative tags here. In this case, we're looking at something really simple like age. What this allows you to do then is actually run quantitative analysis on the qualitative data. So you can see in this case, we were actually able to compare all the different generations using that quantitative tag of age across all the qualitative themes. And our AI was even able to call out any statistically significant insights across all the qualitative themes, in this case, again, by the different generations. Now, to go a layer deeper, we also have created a chatbot called Ask Ada that allows you to ask any question about the data set. This is really helpful for follow-up questions. I think we've all been here where you're going and you're sharing the data with your team or your stakeholders, and they have a ton of follow-up questions. This is a perfect use case or example of that. So by simply typing in any question you have about the data set, our AI will generate a exec summary again for you to answer those questions. And similar to the summary view that we saw earlier, it cites all of the sources that it's pulling from. So you can see down to the specific videos that are being tagged. Again, because we combine both quant and qual in one data set, you can further filter this by any quantitative attribute. In this example, we're looking at something very basic like age, but this could also be purchase frequency. It can be any other kind of demographic information that you collected in the quant data, allowing you to kind of combine both quantitative and qualitative data in one data set here. Now, our AI is able to do this across all types of unstructured data sets. So in this case, we're looking at video responses, but it does the same thing for open-end text responses as well, generating that summary and all the citations there. Again, also doing that thematic analysis so you can see all of those key themes that are coming out of the open-ended text. Now, the last area where we'll spend some time is just walking through how AI can also help with the reporting aspect of the consumer research process. On the quantitative side, there's a bunch of different ways to play with the data or manipulate the data, but one of my favorite applications for AI on our platform is this tool or feature that we call our cohort feature or cuts feature. So this allows you to create different cohorts that you want to cut the data by. In this case, we'll continue with that example of age or generation. And then it will cut all the quantitative data by that cohort or by that cut. And what's really great here is, or the great application of AI here is that not only will it cut that data for you, but it will actually generate an insight or those insights from what it's seeing in the data cut there. And it'll even call out any statistically significant insights that it's noticing. Now, moving over to the qual, a a really exciting application for AI is actually around how do you tell a story with the qualitative data. In this case, our video show reels or video editing feature called show reels. And what show reels allows you to do is simply drop in all the videos that you would like to share externally with your team. You drag and drop them in order, highlight which portion of the video you want to include, any additional images or elements. You can even customize this for your company's branding, add any background music. We have all the latest hits. And then you can export this as a sizzle reel or show reel to really bring the voice of the customer to life. Now, lastly, our AI helps you actually pull together all the different aspects that you would want to show in a report, both from the quantitative data, the qualitative data, or any insights from the combination of the two. And you can easily export this into a Google Slides or PowerPoint presentation. So everything I just walked through are just some applications of AI that we've developed, and there's several others out there. What that really allows you to run this type of hybrid quant-qual research at scale. And one of the biggest impacts that we've seen, the business impacts that we've seen of these different applications of AI, in our case, doing it end to end from questionnaire design all the way to reporting, is the ability to actually speed up that research process. Again, taking a process that sometimes can take as much as 4+ weeks and doing it, in the case of this study, in as little as 48 hours. Not only does this help accelerate speed to insight, but it also opens up use cases for research that might not have been possible before, where you just didn't have enough time to run research. But now, because we've been able to shorten that end-to-end research time to just a couple days or a couple hours or a couple days, you can now run research. So it allows you to run research in areas where you might not have run research, allowing you to make more data-backed decisions across the organization. And with that, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us. Check out our website. We're always happy to give you a more detailed walkthrough of the demo or the platform, or reach out to me over email, and happy to continue the conversation from there. I'll turn it over to Kara if we have any questions from the audience.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Anish. Really appreciate your time. And thanks everyone for being here. There's a big button on your screen that says book time with me, and that'll take you to Knit's homepage where you can book another demo if you want to learn more. And we do have a few minutes for questions, so feel free to pop those in the Q&A box. A couple questions here in regards to the ability to upload data, like you mentioned, Anish. What kinds of data sources are compatible with Knit?
Yeah. So we're really excited. We just released earlier this year our data import feature. So you can upload data in virtually any format as long as it's in a CSV or an Excel file. You can upload it onto our platform. I'd recommend any data set that you have that has, quant data as well as open-end text data usually works really well. And we have a ton of our customers uploading, previous research or research from other platforms into the Knit platform to make use of our AI tools for analysis.
Awesome. Sounds very comprehensive. That's great. How customizable is the AI-driven analysis for specific research needs or deeper insights?
Yeah, great question. So it is really customizable. I think, we kind of covered this a bit in the presentation, but throughout the platform, you can always edit any of those outputs, whether it's combining two themes, deleting a theme, tweaking a theme, recategorizing different outputs into different themes, fully customizable. We really want, the way we view this is the AI's job is to get you 70-80% of the way there, but that last 20% that captures the nuance of your organization, really only a researcher can do. And so you can edit this as much as you want, and again, there's that kind of feedback loop there as well, so the AI will get better and better the more you use it.
Thank you. Question from Benjamin here. Does it have handle different languages?
Yeah, it's a great question, Benjamin. It is, we are only focused on the US and Canada, and English, specifically from a language perspective. We are expanding internationally very soon, and it will have the ability to handle multiple languages from there. So all of the major European, APAC, and LATAM languages will be available on the platform over the coming quarters.
Awesome. That's exciting. We'll stay tuned. Question here. What if you see something that's AI missed or want to dig into another area?
Yeah. So if the AI comes back and you feel like it's missing an insight or missing a theme that you're excited to dig into or you're expected to see, there's a handful of ways to approach that. The first is you can always ask Ada, our chatbot. That's the fastest way to get to a pointed answer. And so you can ask the chatbot, and if there are mentions of that theme, it will pop up from there. If there are no mentions of that theme, then the AI will actually let you know. That's one of the big aspects of those citations is our AI will never make up an answer. It always has to cite. It always has to cite its sources there. So that's super helpful there. And the other is you can always manually tag this as well. So we do have more old school search features into the platform as well that you can use to identify keywords that you're looking for if for some reason the AI misses it. But I would say Ada is a really powerful kind of AI powered search feature that again can find those nuances of anything that might have been missed.
Awesome. Thank you. Couple new questions in the chat here. First one, can you tell us more about the sample? Like, who are you leveraging?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so we are very much kind of sample or panel agnostic, right? We have customers that layer this on top of their internal panels. We do integrate with most of the major kind of panel marketplaces as well. Think about us as more of kind of the infrastructure, the layer on top of wherever you're gathering data from, whether that's your own internal panel or external panels that you use or that we already integrate with.
Thank you. Hope that answers your question. Question here from Z. Can you create / export slides that have quant data summaries with supporting qual comments?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So our reporting feature combines both quant and qual. So yeah, you can definitely have slides that have a quantitative aspect to it with the qualitative voice of the consumer, whether it's not just the verbatims, right? You can actually have those videos, edited videos there as well. So that's one of the benefits of having both of them in one data set is the AI is able to help you kind of make those connections between what was being said in a qual theme and any really significant or interesting insights from any of the quant data based on those respondents or themes as well.
Thank you. Question from Gary. What has your experience been when voice altering is required? Any difficulties?
Yeah. Um, so without knowing the use case for voice altering, right? If it's to protect anonymity, if it's that's a specific use case. That's really the only one that we've explored. But the AI is really looking at the transcript. So as long as the transcript is high quality and audible voice or audio usually leads to a very high quality transcript. We're able to analyze the data. So no major difficulties as long as the transcript is intact and high quality.
Great, good to know. Can you use NIT for just analysis, or do we have to filter everything through NIT's panel as well?
Yeah, you can definitely use us for just analysis. Again, we are very much kind of data agnostic in the sense that you can upload existing data that you already have onto the platform. You can layer this on top of your existing panel, third-party panel. So yeah, we have plenty of use cases where customers are not using our panel or a panel at all, and they're just uploading previously run research onto the platform.
Perfect, thank you. Wonderful. I think that's all the questions we had in the Q&A box. Thanks for submitting all those great questions, everyone. And thanks for being here. We can wrap up a few minutes early, but if you missed any part of the beginning of the session, as soon as it's over, you'll be able to watch it on demand. And like I said, if you push that button at the top of your screen that says "Book Time with Me," it'll take you to the next homepage. So thanks so much, Anish, for your time. And thank you, everyone, for being here. And we'll see you in the next session.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend. Take care.